close as we always do. Head around the Inside Politics table, ask our great reporters, share a little something from their notebooks, get you out ahead of the big political news just around the corner. Margaret Talley?
Well, in the midst of all this domestic politics, there's actually a lot of foreign policy coming down the pike in the week ahead. And the most interesting visit may come with South Korea's new president. He and President Trump actually seem to have diverging views in many ways about what to do about North Korea. He's talking about, let's bring the North Koreans in for the Olympics, that sort of thing. But the death of Otto Warmbier and the new South Korean president's press for China to do more may give them some common ground to move forward. It'll be a really interesting meeting to watch.
Back on the world stage. Fun to watch. Manu?
John Harry Reid, the former Senate Democratic leader, may have retired from Congress, but that doesn't mean he's out of the scene. Actually, behind the scenes, he played an instrumental role in getting Jackie Rosen, the Democratic Congresswoman, to announce her Senate candidacy against Republican Dean Heller. And of course, she's viewed as a top-tier candidate by both Republicans and Democrats, and her candidacy is viewed as one reason why Dean Heller may be eventually be a no vote on this bill, because this is going to be a very tough race for her. Reid, of course, was for him, I should say, and Reid, of course, was instrumental in getting the health care bill passed in 2009, and before Brian Sandoval and Dean Heller had that press conference on Friday. Guess who met with Brian Sandoval beforehand? Harry Reid.
Gone, but not gone. All right, Michael?
Right now, John, there are two totally separate press teams operating inside the White House. One that we all know of is the one headed by Sean Spicer, who's been a target of President Trump basically since day one of the administration, and is overseeing a reorganization of that office that he may or may not be a part of in the end. Lesser known is a separate team deeper inside the White House that is basically tasked with protecting the family, the president, Ivanka Trump, and Jared Kushner. What I'll be watching for in the next couple of weeks is whether or not these two teams will be merged as part of this reorganization.
Maybe we can get the family team to do audio-only briefings for us as well. Never mind. Karen?
We've been following the fits and starts of all these different Russia probes competing on Capitol Hill to an extent that, you know, is overwhelming. But the place where Congress can actually have the most real and most impactful effect is in a sanctions bill that right now is sitting stalling in front of the House. In the next few days, we're going to see signs about whether the House is actually going to move this forward or they're going to just hold back. And the reason that this is important is because there's a provision in this bill that actually checks and ties the president's hands on what he can and can't do vis-a-vis pulling back Russia sanctions that people think may be advantageous to his policy, to his personal bottom line, to a whole bunch of other things. Right now, my sources are telling me that people in the House do want to move forward, but the question is, will the president exert enough pressure over the leadership, as he's planning to make that stop dead in its tracks? And what results will show you basically how Congress and the administration are going to be facing off in all of these matters going down the line.
It's a big test, though, and a big question. I'll close with this. Yes, deep doubts about President Trump offer Democrats a big organizing framework heading into the 2018 midterms. But halfway through 2017, voters identified little positive about the Democratic brand. Even its big edge on the question of which party best looks out for the middle class isn't as big as it once was. As the party debates its leadership and its message, here are some very telling words from the veteran Democratic pollster Peter Hart. He writes this in his analysis of the latest NBC Wall Street Journal poll. Quote, "The numbers that look good for the Democratic Party are really negative results about the Republican Party and Donald Trump." Hart goes on to say, and Democrats should take note of this, quote, "None of these numbers tells a single positive story of Democratic achievement." Yes, Republicans have problems, but Democrats, ouch.